So the tariffs are on, the stock market might be screwed, the economy might be screwed. Things are getting bad out there right now. So the stock market's crashing. Investor sentiment is at extreme fear right now. And everybody wants to know, is the market going to keep going down? Are we going to go into a recession? Are we going to have stagflation? Are we going to go into a full-blown trade war with countries like China? Or is all this stuff going to blow over? Are those countries going to lower their tariffs, which then helps us lower our tariffs? So here we go. No BS, no clickbait, no fluff. We're here to make money. Let's do it.
We had an auto industry in Detroit. Then some genius named Bill Clinton signs the North American Free Trade Agreement. Or corporations, you can screw Americans and go get cheap labor in Mexico and break the unions by going to Canada. Now, if you were General Motors, I'd say it's like my birthday.
Yeah.
But if you're a worker who comes from Michigan or Ohio, they just signed, you know what they signed? Worst statistic I'm going to tell you today. Average life expectancy.
So what happens if you flip the script, we put tariffs back on all these countries to try to bring our industries back into America? This is what happens.
Breaking news, Apple announced it's going to work with Foxconn to build a server factory in Texas by 2026.
The company says it is now planning to invest $500 billion in the U.S. economy.
The CEO of SoftBank pledging to invest $100 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years.
This is President Trump delivering on the promise he made to the American people on the campaign trail.
The idea is come to America, build greatness in America, build for American customers.
Project Stargate. It's a joint venture between SoftBank, Oracle, and OpenAI, and they're going to create a data center that will eventually be expanded to other states.
Shows people are listening to Mr. Trump's pitch to bring new industry to America.
This is the latest pledge from a foreign business leader promising to spend big in the U.S. as a result of Trump's election victory.
Founder of the property development company DeMac Properties is pledging the money.
President Trump announcing $100 billion investment from Taiwan Semiconductor, bringing the company's total American investments to $165 billion.
The most powerful AI chips in the world will be made right here in America.
Things happen so quickly in the Trump world, right? It's 100 days. Right. It feels like it's 100 months. This is leadership. This is taking control of the problem for military, for everything, for industrial, for our economy. Even if it causes short-term pain, the reality is it is the right decision.
NVIDIA says it will invest hundreds of billions of dollars over the next 4 years, part of the manufacturing renaissance under President Donald J. Trump.
Furniture maker Prepack are shifting their operations from Canada to North Carolina.
Johnson & Johnson says it will invest more than $55 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years.
Hyundai announced a $20 billion investment.
With your leadership, Mr. President, Hyundai Motor Group is proud to be a stronger partner in America's industrial future.
This is the automobile industry, and now those plants largely have stopped and they're moving them to our country. Honda is building one of the biggest plants.
The trade story is certainly picking up speed here and pushing more countries to make these bigger investments.
It's another example of the Trump effect.
GE Aerospace announcing a nearly $1 billion investment into American manufacturing.
Eli Lilly announcing plans to expand its manufacturing here in the United States.
$27 billion additional spend, bringing our total to more than $50 billion.
The money's rolling in, and this is in the past 60 some odd days, Charles.
And these are deep-pocketed folks who want to have a relationship, and it's just smart moves.
We are CMA CGM, one of the leaders in shipping and logistics around the world. Today, we are investing $20 billion.
Foreign leaders from around the world, investors from Silicon Valley to Wall Street to Main Street have confidence again in our economy and our markets and in President Trump.
I'm not going to lie. After watching that video, I personally felt like tariffs were a really good thing. But to be honest with you, they are a good thing, but only for the long term in the stock market. In the short term, the economy and the stock market is going to take a massive hit because the cost of pretty much everything is going to go up. So I just made a post on X and I break down the tariffs that we're going to put on countries versus the effective tariffs that they put on us. So if you don't follow me on X, definitely go follow me because I post a bunch of stuff all the time on there. Link is below in the video description. So if we look at China here, for example, they effectively charge us a 67% tariff. So all the stuff on the left-hand column is what countries charge us. And on the right-hand column in the yellow, this is what Trump is proposing that we're going to charge them. I mean, it's not really a proposition. It is what's going to happen. Of course, I think that countries are going to try to negotiate with us. And maybe if they drop their tariff, we're going to drop our tariff. But for right now, this is what's going on. But the key thing to understand is that this 67% with China, for example, it's not like they just charge us a flat tariff of 67% anytime we want to ship goods into China. This is the effective tariff, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So Trump and his team factored everything in, and they essentially came up with these make-believe numbers right here that they feel like is a true effective tariff that these countries charge us. But I mean, if we just go down through the list, like China, 34%, European Union, 20%, Vietnam, 46%, Taiwan, 32%, Japan, 24%. I mean, you could go through and read down this list, but we buy so much stuff from China, so many clothes from Vietnam, so many chips from Taiwan. We get cars from Japan. We get a lot of stuff from all these countries right here. And this right here has investors completely freaking out. They're going off the rails because they don't know what to do. Everything is going to go up in price. Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve is probably going to have to keep interest rates higher for longer to try to bring inflation down. But it's really like an artificial inflation factor that's going into play right now because cost of goods is artificially going up. It's not like we're having true inflation out there in the economy. It's just that there's this tax that's going on in goods that come into America from other countries, which the companies are going to pass that on to the consumers like us. And I think overall it's going to be pretty bad. Your iPhone's going to be more expensive. Your TV's going to be more expensive. Cars that we import are going to be more expensive. When things are more expensive, what do? You buy less of it. That's going to make the revenues go down at these companies. That's going to make their earnings per share go down. Because I bet you that even if this 34% tariff right here, for example, let's just say you buy a TV from China and the tariff is 34%. I bet you that most of the companies are not going to just pass on a 34% price hike to the consumer. I bet you they eat maybe like 10% of this and then the price goes up by like 24% or something along those lines. So the company is going to eat a little bit of it, which is going to hurt their margins. But then, of course, we're going to eat a little bit of it by higher prices. And higher prices, but in a slowing economy, is one of the worst economic cycles that you could ever get in. So if you're the Federal Reserve, you want to go cut interest rates to try to help support the economy, but you can't cut interest rates because inflation's going up. So it's like a give or take every single thing that you do, and it's very, very hard to break this cycle. So I'm optimistic that Trump is going to negotiate with these countries and get reciprocal reduction of these tariffs, which I talked about in other YouTube videos, but I do think it's going to be a painful path. So now the million-dollar question that everybody wants to know the answer to, is the market bottoming right now? Is the worst already priced into the market? Or are we going to catch a falling knife if we buy in and we're going to keep going down lower? So I'm going to break down 3 charts for you right now that give a crystal clear picture of what I feel like the economy is going to do going forward, how to capitalize on it. Do we buy? Do we sell? What do we do right now? Let's go into charts right now. So in order to understand where we're going, we have to look backwards and see where we came from and all the things that we went through to see if there's similarities and patterns to what's happening right now. So this is a chart of the S&P 500 since 1960, and all the gray lines that go through here are recessions. You can see a lot of volatility in the market since 1960, but look at where we started and look where we ended. So if you would have just kept your emotions in check and not worried about any of the news headlines, any of the tariff stuff, any of the wars, any of the pandemics, any of the 2008 market crashes, any of the dot-com crashes that happened right here, if you would have just stayed invested in the market, you would have done very, very well. But if you would have panicked and you would have sold here, you would have missed this run. If you would have sold here, you would have missed this run. The point that I'm trying to get at is this. The emotional aspect of investing is what most people discount. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, as Mike Tyson says. So right now the market's going down a little bit and everybody is completely freaking out. Right here, it felt like the world was going to end. Here, the world was going to end. The world was going to end in the COVID stuff too. Every single market dip feels like the world is going to end and how are we ever going to come out of this? But if you just build the base of your portfolio and you dollar cost average in, every time you get a paycheck, you just buy a little bit more, you will do extremely well in the long run. There's a good study that recently came out that the best investors out there are the ones that are actually dead or the ones that build a portfolio and they forgot they even have it because time in the market beats timing the market hands down. And just look at the fear-greed index. Everybody is completely freaking out. We are extremely fearful right now because people don't know how to process the tariffs. Maybe the market's a little bit overvalued. Maybe we're going to go into stagflation. Maybe we're going to go into recession. All this crazy stuff where all of it 100% can happen. But if you're a long-term investor, it doesn't matter if it happens or not because you're going to ride out the dip, you're going to buy when it's low, you're going to buy when it's high, and you're going to be okay in the long run. Now, if you do short duration plays, which most new investors do, you're probably getting destroyed right now and you're probably freaking out because you made short duration plays on companies that you don't really understand, you didn't really value them, you don't really understand the option strategy that you're doing. So I strongly urge everybody right now to click the link below and do my course. It's under $80. and it's going to teach you everything that you have to know about the stock market. You're not going to have to play these games anymore losing money. You will know exactly what to do, when to do it, with what option trading strategy, and have a clear level head when you do it. All right, so with that aside, let's go into chart number 2. And chart number 2 is one of the most important charts you could ever look at in the stock market to know if we're going to go higher or lower. Let's do it. So the red line here corresponds to the S&P 500, and these blue lines right here correspond to a price-earnings ratio level that if the market was trading at this price right here, it would be trading at that PE ratio. So right now we're up here around 20 for the current PE ratio of the S&P 500. So the price-earnings ratio is just essentially a valuation metric that says you're going to pay this much for the stock price based on how much profit that the company actually makes per share. So the higher the ratio, the more expensive something may be. Now, there's other factors that matter, such as growth and interest rates, which I'll talk about in just a second. But overall basis, the average S&P 500 PE ratio is roughly around 15. So if the PE ratio of the S&P 500 falls from 20 to 15, that would indicate that the S&P is going to be trading somewhere around $4,000. Right now it's $5,670. So even after the 10% correction that we already had, the market could keep falling from 5,600 to 4,000, which is roughly another 30% drop, which would be roughly 40% drop from the top. I'm not saying this is guaranteed to happen, but I am saying this. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market. These tariffs could really hurt the economy in the short term. Maybe we go into recession, maybe we have stagflation, and it's not a coincidence that Warren Buffett has so much money in cash, he has so much money in bonds, and he's not buying back any Berkshire Hathaway stock. He only buys back Berkshire Hathaway stock when he feels like it's trading below intrinsic value. So right now is a critical time to not have a crap ton of leverage out on your portfolio, because in the event that we fall more, you want to be able to capitalize on that dip and not have all your money invested into the market. So keep your emotions in check, keep dollar cost averaging, only do options on ultra high margin safety trades. If you don't understand how to do that stuff, click the link below to get my course. If you want to learn how to do stock options without my course, watch the video right here. It's a very basic guide in the stock options. I'll see you there.